today with an Alaves tie against Atletico Madrid at 7 p.m. and then Barcelona take on Valladolid in the only other La Liga match of the day. So two teams at the top, two results that Real Madrid will be watching closely, although not too closely at this stage in the season. The important thing is for Real Madrid to continue their good early season form, and that final run out against Galatasaray now a week ago today, a good indicator now of where Real Madrid are. They've picked up the first win in Champions League, they've only lost once in La Liga, and as I say, with the month of November almost upon us, between now and the end of November there's going to be 6 games and 5 of them are in the Santiago Bernabeu. But just to round off the rest of the fixtures for match day, or the match day that we've got this midweek, match day 11 on Wednesday, Real Sociedad take on Levante. Real Sociedad doing very well, up into 3rd position, a point ahead of Real Madrid, having played a game more, so another one of interest for Madridistas. And then an interesting game as well on Wednesday at 7 p.m. when Valencia face Sevilla. Valencia down in 12th in mid-table, but Sevilla in 5th, again a point ahead of Real Madrid, but having played a game more, so another one of interest. So all those games of interest, Sevilla, Real Sociedad, Barca and Atleti getting the match day 11 kicked off before Athletic Club play Espanyol. Betis take on Celta again on Wednesday evening before the big one, Real Madrid against Leganes at 9:15. That is the final game on Wednesday, the game that interests us. Of course, stay with Real Madrid TV for all the build-up to that game and post-match analysis from the Leganes game. It is a derby, of course. Leganes just to the south of the Spanish capital. It's a commuter town. It's not far at all to come for Leganes fans. They'll be in and around the Real Madrid stadium. I'm sure a lot of Leganes fans previously in their past life have been or still are Real Madrid fans as well. There's a lot of that in the Spanish capital, a lot of fans of the clubs from the outside of the city. Of course, traditionally have supported one of the big clubs from the city, and Real Madrid have a lot of fans in Leganes. It's a big stronghold for Los Blancos. Games to complete match day 11 include on Thursday Eibar against Villarreal, who are doing very well at the moment as well, on 17 points, just a point behind Real Madrid. Mallorca against Osasuna, and Getafe against Granada, who are surprisingly at the moment top of La Liga. Granada on 20 points after their victory at the weekend over Betis. They are top of La Liga, having played a game more than Real Madrid and Barcelona. Of course, plenty of opportunities for Los Blancos to overtake Granada at the top and to stamp their authority on La Liga this season. But the games are coming thick and fast. As I mentioned there, Betis, who lost to Granada, they're struggling 3rd bottom in the relegation zone, and they are also the next visitors to the Santiago Bernabeu on Saturday, 9 p.m. kickoff, Real Madrid against Betis. So 2 home games against teams down the bottom in the relegation battle, Leganes and Betis to come for these players. Maximum points required from everyone involved in the club, especially those 2 men watching from behind. David Belotti, the right-hand man of Zinedine Zidane. There he is, who we will hear from in just a short while after this training session, around about 1 p.m. Zinedine Zidane will be facing the press to talk about Leganes and also the games coming up, Leganes and Betis this week in the Santiago Bernabeu, and then Real Madrid have another home game next Wednesday against Galatasaray in the Champions League. A chance to do the double over the Turkish side after the 1-0 victory last week, and chance to stamp the authority again on Group A in the Champions League and try and get the qualification for that organised in the month of November, because they also have another home game in the Champions League in November. But after Galatasaray at home, it's away in La Liga to Eibar on the 9th of November, Saturday the 9th of November, a match that kicks off at 6:30. Then it's back home to the Bernabeu. There is an international break in the middle of November where there won't be a game for 2 weeks, for 14 days, but then it's Real Sociedad at home on the 23rd of November, and then PSG in the Champions League to make up the month of November, and 5 home games for Real Madrid out of 6. So just the away trip to Eibar, and home games against Leganes, Betis, Galatasaray, Real Sociedad and PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, in 2 competitions, La Liga and the Champions League. So these players are getting prepared for that, trying to get themselves in the best possible shape physically. They've had a week off from fixtures. It's not the most difficult of months as regards to travel, as regards to opponents as well, although of course Champions League is very demanding, but 2 home games against Galatasaray and a big one against Paris Saint-Germain, but also those 4 La Liga fixtures against well, teams that you would expect Real Madrid to be looking to take full points from. Leganes and Betis this week, and then Eibar away before home games against Real Sociedad, and that one against PSG to finish off the month of November. That will take us into the final month of the year, but football clubs, football coaching staff, football players all like to look at chunks of games and be looking at those 6 games and saying, let's get this Champions League qualification rubber stamped, and let's get as many points as we possibly can in La Liga to keep up the battle at the top. It is very tight, as I say, at the top of La Liga. 6 teams at the top with just 2 points separating them, and then there's also Villarreal, 7 teams with 3 points separating them. Villarreal also doing very well. It's the usual suspects: Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Sevilla as well up there, but also Granada and Real Sociedad as the season gets really into full swing now, as we come up to match day 11. Real Madrid, of course, looking to get as many points on the board before that December Clásico against Barcelona as well. So plenty to look forward to. Real Madrid have almost a full squad out here. Long-term injury, of course, is Marco Asensio, who is unlikely to feature for the rest of the season. Gareth Bale has been training indoors in recent days. We haven't seen him out here as yet this morning. He'd be unlikely for Leganes, but players like Federico Valverde chomping at the bit. There's a lot of youngsters looking to get games, get minutes in these La Liga matches. Rodrigo, of course, as well. Militao at the back. Brahim is back from injury. There's lots of options for Zinedine Zidane, but that's all we've got time for now. Join us just after or just before 1 p.m. local time to hear from the words of Zinedine Zidane.
Hello Madridistas, and welcome to the Santiago Bernabeu. It's match day 8 of La Liga, and we have a top of the table clash to enjoy between leaders Real Madrid and second place Granada. Zinedine Zidane's side are the only team left in the Spanish top flight yet to taste defeat, while Granada have been the surprise package of the season so far, newly promoted and impressing many. It is a beautiful autumnal day. It's very warm indeed in the sunshine, and alongside me to enjoy today's game is Dermot Ledwith.
Hello Phil, yes, as you say, a top of the table clash, and one that you would not have predicted at the beginning of the season. Granada have had a fantastic